Incoming transmission.
Hello, this is Matt and McKinley from History Dispatches.
We are the father-son duo bringing you the weird, the wild, the wacky, and the craziest tales from across time.
From the Ice Bowl
to the Great Heathen Army.
And the head of Oliver Cromwell.
The same head they kept on a pike for 3 years?
Yep, all here on History Dispatches.
New episodes every weekday.
Find out more at historydispatches.com or wherever you get your podcast app.
Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood. Today we'll be learning all about one of the most recognizable structures in the world, the Eiffel Tower. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Recognizing the truth can seem easy, but sometimes it's harder than you might expect. Think you can tell fact from fiction? Consider this. In the 1920s, just a few decades after it was built, the Eiffel Tower was apparently falling into disrepair and becoming quite expensive for the city of Paris to maintain. Rumors circulated that it might even be dismantled. A man claiming to work for the government invited top scrap metal dealers to a secret meeting in a luxurious hotel and sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap. He not only collected a hefty sum for the scrap metal deal, he also got the businessman to pay a bribe to win the contract. Could someone really sell the Eiffel Tower? Did this audacious scam actually happen, or is it just a tall tale? You'll find out at the end of this episode. Now for our word of the day. Today's word of the day is puddle iron. Puddle iron is a type of wrought iron, which is what the Eiffel Tower is primarily made of. It gets its name from the puddling process developed in the late 18th century. In this process, pig iron, crude high-carbon iron, is melted in a furnace and stirred or puddled, exposing it to oxygen. This burns off excess carbon and other impurities, resulting in a stronger, more malleable form of iron, wrought iron. The Eiffel Tower is a testament to the strength and durability of puddle iron, using over 7,300 tons of it in its lattice structure. While steel eventually replaced wrought iron for most large-scale construction, the puddling process was crucial for the Industrial Revolution and structures like the iconic tower. Now for today's High Five, our top 5 fun facts about the Eiffel Tower. Number 1, the Eiffel Tower gets taller in the summer. That's right, the Eiffel Tower's height isn't fixed. It actually changes with the seasons. It's a phenomenon known as thermal expansion. Like most metals, iron expands when it's hot and contracts when it cools. On hot summer days, the sun beating down on the iron lattice can cause the Eiffel Tower to expand upwards by as much as 15 centimeters or about 6 inches. Conversely, in the cold winter weather, it shrinks back down. So, depending on when you measure it, the Eiffel Tower can have slightly different heights throughout the year. It's even been known to have a slight curve or a lean to it because the side where the light hits the iron directly is going to be a little bit warmer and expand more than the shady side of the tower. Number 2, Paris's iconic symbol was initially hated by many Parisians. It's hard to imagine Paris without the Eiffel Tower now, but when it was first built for the 1889 World's Fair, many prominent artists and intellectuals fiercely opposed it, calling it a monstrous eyesore. A committee led by famous figures and writers penned a petition protesting the, quote, useless and monstrous Eiffel Tower, end quote, referring to it as a, quote, gigantic black smokestack, end quote, that would dominate Paris like an, quote, odious column of bolted sheet metal, end quote. they feared it would ruin the aesthetic of the city. Originally, the tower was only meant to stand for 20 years before being dismantled, but later on they found value for it as a radio transmission tower, which helped save it from demolition. Number 3, it was an engineering marvel of the day. The Eiffel Tower was constructed incredibly quickly and efficiently for its era, using prefabricated pieces. It took just 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days to build, from early 1887 to March 1889. The tower is composed of 18,038 individual puddle iron parts, meticulously designed and produced with incredible precision for the time. These pieces were joined together using 2.5 million rivets. Much of the assembly involved pre-assembling large sections on the ground before hoisting them into position, a revolutionary construction technique that contributed to the speed and relative safety of the build. Only one worker died during its construction, which was remarkably low for a project of this scale back then. Number 4, the tower wears a lot of paint, and its color has changed over time. To protect the iron structure from rust, the Eiffel Tower needs to be repainted regularly, about every 7 years. This massive undertaking requires approximately 60 tons of paint. Interestingly, the tower hasn't always been the signature Eiffel Tower brown we see today. When it first opened, it was a reddish-brown color. It was later painted ochre yellow and then yellow-brown, and eventually the bronze-like brown shade it currently sports. The color for the Eiffel Tower is actually applied in 3 graded shades, darkest at the bottom and lightest at the top, to counteract atmospheric perspective and make the tower appear uniformly colored against the sky. And our 5th and final fact for today, the tower played a crucial role in World War I. Beyond being a tourist attraction, the Eiffel Tower proved strategically vital during the First World War due to its height serving as an important radio communications hub. In the early days of the war, particularly the First Battle of Marne in 1914, the tower's radio transmitter was used to jam German radio communications, significantly disrupting their coordination. It also intercepted crucial enemy messages, providing valuable intelligence to the French military command. Its contribution to the war effort further solidified its importance to France and helped ensure it wouldn't be dismantled as originally planned. Now for some news you can use. Are you planning a trip to the Eiffel Tower? Here are a few tips to make the most of your experience. First off, take time to just be there and soak it all in. Often when visiting a famous landmark, there's a temptation to rush, snap a quick selfie, and move on. But remember, seeing an amazing landmark isn't just about crossing experiences off a bucket list or taking pictures to prove your accomplishments to strangers on social media. Try to put your phone in your pocket for a bit and simply be in the moment. Then take some time to look for hidden details that others might miss. Did you know that Gustave Eiffel had a small private apartment built for himself at the very top of the Eiffel Tower? It's been restored and you can peek into it. Also, scan the first floor gallery. You'll find 72 names engraved around the tower. These are the names of French scientists, engineers, and mathematicians who contributed to the tower's creation. It's a beautiful homage to innovation. Now, while I encourage you not to live your entire life through a viewfinder, there's nothing wrong with taking a few good pictures while you're there. If you're by the tower and trying to get a selfie with the entire tower visible, try putting the camera on the ground for a worm's eye view. You and the tower will seem massive, extending up into the sky from that unique perspective. Of course, for those iconic wide shots, there are the classic spots like the Trocadero Gardens or the Champ de Mars. But for something a little different, try exploring the Rue de l'Université for a fantastic view framed by the Parisian buildings, or the elegant staircase on Avenue des Camoens for a sophisticated shot. Another great and often less crowded vantage point is from the Birakem Bridge You might recognize it from movies like Inception. It offers a stunning perspective with the bridge's architecture framing the tower. For timing, sunrise often means fewer people and beautiful, soft light. And while the evening sparkle is magical, the tower glitters for 5 minutes every hour on the hour after sunset. But be aware that light display is considered an artwork, so professional or commercial photos of the tower at night while it's glittering could be a copyright violation, but it is all right to photograph for your personal use. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. Earlier, I asked if it was true that a con artist actually sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap back in the 1920s. Could someone really pull off such an audacious scam? Well, buckle up, because this story is absolutely true and way wilder than you might expect. The man behind the incredible con was Victor Lustig, one of history's most charming and notorious fraudsters. In 1925, Lustig was in Paris and read newspaper articles discussing the maintenance problems and costs associated with the Eiffel Tower, along with public debate about its future. Seeing a chance, he hatched a plan. Lustig posed as a government official, complete with forged credentials. He invited 5 or 6 prominent scrap metal dealers to a confidential meeting in the prestigious Hôtel de Crillon. He explained that the city couldn't afford the tower's upkeep and had secretly decided to demolish it and sell it for scrap. He stressed the need for discretion to avoid public outcry. Lustig gave the dealers tours and evaluated their bids, ultimately selecting André Poisson as his mark. Poisson was insecure and eager to make his mark in the Parisian business world, making him susceptible. Lustig then hinted that his own government position wasn't very well paid, subtly soliciting a bribe to secure the deal, which Poisson readily paid on top of the, quote, purchase price. Once Lustig had the cash from the contract and the bribe, he fled to Vienna with a suitcase full of money. Poisson was too embarrassed to report the crime to the police. And here's the truly amazing part. When Lustig saw that the crime hadn't been reported, he actually went and did it again. Lustig returned to Paris about a month later and tried the exact same scam with a different group of dealers. But this time, one of the dealers became suspicious and went to the police. Lustig managed to escape before being caught. He later moved to the United States, where his criminal exploits continued. He famously sold what he called Romanian money boxes, devices he claimed could duplicate currency but were just elaborate props. His most famous American con involved convincing Al Capone to invest $50,000, which Lustig simply kept in a safe deposit box for 2 months before returning it, claiming the deal fell through. Capone was so impressed by Lustig's perceived honesty that he gave Lustig $5,000. Lustig was eventually arrested in 1935 for counterfeiting charges. He escaped prison once, but was recaptured and finally sent to Alcatraz, where he lived out the rest of his days. What a story! From a controversial monument to a beloved icon, and even the subject of an unbelievable scam, the Eiffel Tower certainly has a rich history. I hope you enjoyed learning about it with me, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.